Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome to the video. I hope everybody is having a great day. First, I want to start this video off by saying I am going to be doing a massive giveaway, guys. I will be giving away Overwatch League jerseys, shirts, sweaters, hats. It's going to be big. You guys have helped me so much by watching my videos every single day, subscribing to my channel. We are really building up a great community, and I really appreciate every single one of you guys, so I want to give back. There will be more information on this giveaway. I still have to plan it, figure everything out. It was honestly kind of a random thought that I had yesterday when I was making the video. What if I did a giveaway? I could do this, that. I started asking questions. So there is definitely going to be a massive giveaway coming, guys. It is in the works. Be sure to join the Discord, follow me on Twitter, and you'll get more information about it. Also, be sure to join the Discord, guys, because we are doing a viewing party tonight for the San Francisco Shock, Dallas Fuel game, and the Los Angeles Valiant and Los Angeles Gladiators game. I'll be answering any and all questions there. We'll be talking about the games. It'll be a good time, so go ahead and join the Discord, guys. The link will be down below in the description and in the comments. So now that we've got both of those out of the way, let's go ahead and start the video off today. We are going to be talking about XQC, Dallas Fuel. What do they need to do to improve? Is Kai really a problem for them? Does there need to be a change in the coaching staff? What are the players doing wrong? What can they do better? We're just going to be talking all about the Dallas Fuel, the players, the coaches. And real quick, guys, before we get deep into this video, please drop a subscription. I upload daily videos, so if you enjoy my content, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. First, let's start off by talking about overall what is going on with the Dallas Fuel. So they had a very rough stage one, right? They were losing to a lot of teams that they didn't expect to lose to, and fans didn't expect them to lose to. We thought they would be a top team, and they ended up being one of the bottom teams. So mentally, for a lot of these players, they were not used to losing at all. So it was a big hit to them, and they started slumping. They did get a couple of wins at the end of stage one, but they were against some of the worst teams in the league, so it was still a very upsetting stage one. Moving into the signing period between stage one and stage two, they actually made some pretty good acquisitions. They got AKM, who's a very good hit scan specialist, who could definitely come in and relieve Taimu, who was struggling at the time for whatever reasons. And then there was Rascal, a great pickup. They really need a projectile player, specifically a strong Genji. Rascal definitely brings that to the table. So those were two really strong pickups for them. Also, something that happened in stage one I didn't mention, XQC got banned after the first week or so, and he really didn't play at all. So going into stage two, they had these new pickups. They had XQC. The hopes were high for them and the fans. Expectations were back up there. And again in week one, they did face those weaker teams that they faced in week 5 of stage 1, but they still got the wins, and they were looking pretty good. Taimu played main tank against Shanghai Dragons. They did really good. Then XQC was back. He looked great against the Los Angeles Gladiators. The team seemed to be clicking on all cylinders. Everything was going good. Dallas Fuel looked happy. The fans seemed happy. There was really no problems. And then we got to week 2 of stage 2. And out of nowhere, everything blew up once again, very similar to how it did in stage 1. They played against the Seoul Dynasty in the first match of this week, and to their credit, Seoul Dynasty have looked amazing so far in the stage, the best team in my opinion so far. So for them to pick up a map and fairly be competitive in that set was good in my book. But similar to how they broke down in stage 1, I think it happened again here. For some reason, the players just can't handle losing, and neither can their fans. As soon as the Dallas Fuel lose, the fans go crazy. They start speculating what's the issue. Fire Kai, XQC's trash, Mickey sucks, all this crazy stuff. Obviously some of those might be true, but they do go overboard. And I honestly think Dallas Fuel and the players look into this too much. I think they're reading Reddit, they're reading comments on YouTube videos, they're thinking about it too much. They need to just focus on their game. Now we're in a situation where even their coach is feeling that type of pressure. So Kai has come under a ton of fire this week. So I'm going to play this clip of XQC talking about what some of his team's issues are and how they need to fix them.
It's very simple. We need to create for ourselves an identity and see it through, push it, and make strats around it, and just embrace it. Because right now we don't have an identity. We play 3 different styles at the same time.
Like entertaining stream loop.
Defensive, passive, aggressive at the same time, and it's simply not working for us.
Stage 2.
Alright, so let me go ahead and break this down a little bit for you guys. First, XQC said his team doesn't have an identity. What he means by this is that there is not an overall strategy where the whole entire team is on the same exact page and understands what they need to do every team fight to win. Then he goes on and says they're playing 3 different styles of gameplay right now. So this only reassures us that they definitely do not have an identity and that the players don't understand what they need to be doing, so therefore they're all running around like headless chickens, not understanding what the goal or objective is to help the team win. AKA Effect is going out trying to hard carry solo, and then when he isn't capable of doing it, he gets very frustrated and tilted and has an even worse performance. Then we have XQC going and playing very aggressive, trying to make space, but he's doing it alone. He doesn't have the follow-up of his teammates. Mickey is not there with him. He's not getting heals. And then in this situation, XQC has even admitted himself, he gets very frustrated, he shuts down, and he isn't capable of making the calls that the team needs. So now we're in a situation where Effect may be tilted, XQC is shutting down, not making calls, not looking good. Then we have Mickey here, who I don't think understands fully what he needs to do, and is trying to do too much. He's trying to be in the back line. He's trying to be in the front line. He's trying to help his supports. He's trying to help his DPS. He's trying to dive with Effect. He's trying to dive with XQC. And because he's doing so much and they don't have any raw teamwork or cohesion, he just ends up being all over the place and not really effective in any area specifically. Fortunately though, Mickey is probably one of the only players on this team that doesn't shut down and start tilting. But when you're one of the weaker players at your role in the entire league, it's still a problem even if you have a great mentality. And then there's AKM in the backline, who's typically getting all the resources from their supports and just trying to hard carry. And in week 2, that really got exposed. Other teams were countering them, and it wasn't going good for him or the supports. And all this combined together really just looks like individual play. Everybody is a mess. There's no team cohesion. There's no teamwork, synergy. Players aren't really working off each other. And it's a whole mess. It's chaotic, which chaotic could be good when there is actual teamwork going on though. And this is exactly why Kaikai is coming under fire now. Because whose job is it to make sure that the players understand what the game plan is and what they need to do to win? The head coach. Now, I do think it's a little unfair. People are targeting Kaikai a little too much. Dallas Fuel does have 2 other coaches. They have a Korean assistant coach who goes by the name of Violet, and then they have a Swedish assistant coach who goes by Peak. So they do have a 3-man coaching staff, and you can't exactly put all the blame on Kaikai because there are 2 other coaches. And I would assume that these 2 coaches are probably more responsible for coming up with strategies, team comps, stuff like that for the Dallas Fuel, and then Kaikai is more responsible for making sure that they're good strategies and that everybody is ready to go, happy, and a good mentality for the match. So overall, there's definitely faults for all 3 of these coaches. Kaikai shouldn't be giving the go-ahead if the strategies and team comps are bad, and these guys should be coming up with better stuff. So we can't just throw all the blame on Kaikai. The blame needs to be thrown on the entire coaching staff as a whole. So Violet, Peak, and Kaikai, they all need to get their crap together. Now let's go ahead and take a look at some of the criticism that Kaikai has been receiving. Let's start off on the Reddit thread of that clip I played earlier of XQC talking about what the team needs to work on. Let's go ahead and look at some of the highest upvoted posts in this thread. First one is from Dom Simeon. He says, I don't want to be that guy, but I honestly think this is down to Kaikai. He's the head coach, and issues like this should have been addressed a long time ago. A long time ago. Especially when you consider the Korean masterminds most teams have as coaches. In response to this, bman4266 said this: Kaikai is and will always be the problem. They basically ran one strat all of stage 1 because, as Siegel said, we gotta learn dive. Like, what do you mean you need to learn dive? You need to practice it? You don't know how it works? Or your coach is stuck in 2016 and doesn't understand how to create dive strats? I'm guessing the latter because the teams were made 4 months ago. I are thriving dive. Not sure what he meant there. Kaikai has been with them for how long now? He still hasn't taught them how to dive properly. How is this even possible? It's been meta for over a year and he still hasn't taught the team how. I just don't even understand how or why he's the coach. It's obvious that Dallas has poor strategies. They never swap off heroes to counter. They literally run the exact same strat for 7 minutes straight. How a pro team can beat their head against a wall for that long is beyond me. Hanamura was proof that they have no real game plan other than their one-dimensional strat that doesn't account for variables. I love Dallas, they're my team, but seeing them play is glaringly obvious that they're underprepared. So definitely a lengthy comment there, and from a guy that says he is a Dallas Fuel fan, it seems like he is having a heart-to-heart here with Reddit. He's very unhappy with the situation the Dallas Fuel are in. They look like a complete mess. And he does have some really valid points with the dive situation. The Dallas Fuel, they've been a team for a very long time, and you would definitely think that they would know how to dive. But one thing that I do feel for the Dallas Fuel, and a situation that kind of sucked for them, is they were very good in North America. They didn't really have any competition during their run in Contender Season 1. So basically for the last 3-4 months prior to the Overwatch League starting, these guys were just walking all over these North American teams. Like literally, zero competition. And a team can definitely become very stagnant in this type of situation because you just don't know what to work on. You don't know what you're bad at. What they were doing in Season 1 Contenders was just straight up working. And even if they would change it up, which they did, Effect was running a ton of Doomfist, Tracer, McCree, Reaper, and then we saw Taimu even flexing to Genji multiple times on Control. He was playing Junkrat, just all over. They were doing a ton of stuff, and it was all working. So heading into the Overwatch League, they do have a little bit of leeway there for me, but they also have had 4 to 5 months now since they've been together practicing against some of these other league teams. So they definitely should be a little bit better at dive and understand how common teamwork and strategy works, which doesn't seem to be the case, judging by what XQC said. And we should not be seeing the Dallas Fuel making horrible, like grade 1 professional play mistakes where their Diva and Winston player literally can't dive and stick together in team fights. So let's go and play this next clip of XQC talking about Fate's Winston.
I thought Fate was like fucking crazy, dude. I Winston. He is crazy mechanically and shit. But Fate was actually just, he was wasting bubbles so hard. He was always engaging at the like really like weird timings, and he was using his jump in such like trash timings. And like, dude, Fate isn't that good. But you know why he gets away with it, dude? Because envy goes with him. And it just hit me. You can be as long as you're retarded as a duo. Oh my fucking god. It's like I relearned the whole game, dude.
Okay, so in this clip, I can't help but not think that XQC has to be exaggerating just a little bit. Like, come on, you relearned the entire game just because you saw a Diva and Winston working together. And obviously at the beginning he exaggerated about Fate jumping in at horrible times, using his bubbles at trash times. That has to be exaggerated a little bit. Obviously Fate is a great monkey. I'm sure he knows what he's doing. And he's not just good because envy follows him. So XQC, in my opinion, is definitely exaggerating here. And if he's not, then there is a very real and serious issue going on with Kai, the coaching staff, and the Dallas Fuel. Because if this is so mind-blowing to XQC, he thinks, wow, this is crazy, I relearned the game. Winston and Diva are playing it. There's no way he thinks that. There's absolutely no way. If XQC wasn't exaggerating so much in this clip, I think he would have said something more along the lines, wow, today in our match against the Los Angeles Valiant, Fate and Envy really played well together. There was even times where I saw Fate misuse his bubble and make bad jumps, but because Envy was always there and they were working together really well, they had great synergy and teamwork, it saved his ass. I really do think me and Mickey could learn from these guys. We should definitely go back and watch some film, some tapes, study how they work together, and we can improve on that because it is something we have been lacking in. Of course, XQC is not going to say it in that way, but I definitely think that's what he meant. Because if he didn't, then Jesus Christ, there is seriously a major issue. We all know XQC is known for exaggerating and not being able to really express himself properly and saying random things at random times that don't make sense sometimes. So because of this, I'm going to take this clip with a grain of salt. But still, it shows that Dallas Fuel, the coaching staff, doesn't really seem to be pushing team exercises that are going to help these guys work better together and understand what they need to do in order to maximize each other's efficiencies. So I think now, to this point, it is definitely clear that there are some problems with the coaching staff. They aren't preparing these players properly. Whether we are being too harsh or not doesn't matter. There is issues. They need to be fixed because the team play for the Dallas Fuel up to this point has been horrendous. Now on to the last Reddit thread that I want to talk about and the situation with Kai. This one was posted about 10 hours ago. The title is, why did the Dallas Fuel do the same strat on Hanamura B while repeatedly failing? So this is actually a very detailed post, and because it's so detailed, it would take a while to completely go over and show all the clips he linked. So I will link the Reddit thread down in the description so you guys can go ahead and take a look at it, but I'm going to summarize it a little bit. So basically, when the Dallas Fuel played the Seoul Dynasty on Hanamura, they had a great first attack. They steamrolled through first and second, capped instantly. Then, on their second attack, when they had 4 to 5 minutes to cap second point, it didn't work because Seoul Dynasty completely adapt, and the Dallas Fuel were literally doing the same thing over and over, the same plan. Set AKM up, throw XQC into suicide and try to make space, and Seoul Dynasty really just had the perfect plan to counter it, which is expected, especially at an Overwatch League level. You would think these teams would know how to counter a strategy, especially if the other team is doing it over and over again. And this was a result of Dallas Fuel getting held. Then, a few days later, in their next match against the Los Angeles Valiant, the Dallas Fuel literally did the same exact strategy that they used on the Seoul Dynasty. And obviously, the Los Angeles Valiant were prepared for it because they did film on the other team that they're playing, which is also expected from all these Overwatch League teams. You would think that they are all going out, scouting the other teams, watching films, and developing strategies on how to counter them, and you'd think every other team understands this. And to nobody's surprise, even the casters were pointing out a ton, the Dallas Fuel did the same thing over and over and were held for 7 minutes trying to cap second. Like I said, there are links in this Reddit thread that will show you guys the clips of all this, of them doing the same strategies over and over and losing. So go ahead and check that out. But this definitely adds to the coaching situation and shows that they aren't doing their job. They're not giving the team extra plans that they need to have just in case their main strategy doesn't work. It seems like the Dallas Fuel coaches are sending them in with one strategy and just do it until it works, and if it doesn't, it doesn't, which obviously is not a good plan. It's not a good mindset to have at all. And this is definitely a big fault on the coaches for the Dallas Fuel, but I also don't just blame them. I blame the players a little bit here too. Obviously, they could switch it up. Somebody in the game could say, hey guys, this isn't working. Let's go ahead and try something else. Like, they're literally attacking and going in the same positions over and over. They're not even switching it up. They're not trying to take the left side together. They're not trying to do any wild or wonky things. Like, it's very simple. Somebody could easily make up a quick strategy that might work just to change things up. You don't even have to switch the comp. So that's on the players as well, and I think a reason they're not doing this is because they're starting to get tilted, they're shutting down in game, so they don't say anything. So I definitely think it's a little bit of the players' faults as well, but if we go ahead and look at the comments here, it's just more people trashing Kai. He's literally just getting brunt from absolutely everybody. I think a lot of the Dallas Fuel fans and people in general are just looking at somebody they want to blame for the Dallas Fuel's lackluster performances so far, and since we've already blamed the players, let's blame the coaches now. Let's blame Kai. Let's go for him. Kind of a mob mentality, and it's definitely not healthy for the team. All right, now that I've given samples, I've talked about XQC. We've listened to XQC's thoughts on everything. Let's go ahead and talk about what the Dallas Fuel need to do to get on the right track now. So the Dallas Fuel basically are just in a rough situation right now. Almost every single player and the coaching staff is receiving intense criticism by masses. Just tons of people are coming at them. So obviously, this is just going to add more and more pressure on them. And there's honestly really no easy way out for the Dallas Fuel. They're going to have to do it the hard way. They're going to have to focus up. They're going to have to be big boys, strap up, stop tilting, being depressed, and handle this like adults. And this is a major problem because during stage 1, they showed us that when it gets tough, they are going to break down, they're going to melt, and the team is basically going to crack and fall apart. So they really, really need to block out all of this hate, all of the criticism coming from Reddit, comments, anywhere. Just do not listen to it. Ban everybody from social media. Obviously, this isn't going to happen. XQC is not going to give up streaming. But seriously, if this team wants to get their crap together, this is what they need to do. They need to stop going on social media. No streams, no Twitter, no Reddit, nothing. They need to focus on themselves. That is the first thing the Dallas Fuel need to do. The second thing they need to do is exactly what XQC said. They need to find their identity. They need to slow down, figure out what they want to play. How do they want to play? Do you guys want to be a counter dive comp? We have AKM here. He's been a great soldier so far. We really could focus in on counter diving and become a very solid team that sits back, waits for the enemy to make a move, and then works together to counter them. Or we have Rascal as well, who's been a great Genji player in the past. We have Effect, which would really be a good dive team. We have XQC, who loves being aggressive. Let's focus in on our teamwork. Let's get Effect out there. Let's really teach him how to scout dives properly and set it up. XQC, he knows when to jump in. He knows the right times. And let's get Mickey on the same exact page that XQC is on so that they are going in together and help each other maximize their efficiency, and they'll be able to get so much more done. Then once they find their identity and figure out what they want to do, they can start creating strategies. So I think one of the most common misconceptions in Overwatch right now by the general public is that these pro teams, they need to have multiple strategies, multiple comps to counter anything at any given time. You got to have these really complex strategies, which requires you to run random comps at random times. You got to always be switching, and if you're not swapping your hero all the time to counter your enemy, then you're not doing the right thing. Sure, that's good to have, and if you're a really good team, you can do that. But for the Dallas Fuel in the situation they're in, they really need to find that identity, that one strategy, that one comp that they want to run, whether it's Soldier Tracer or Genji Tracer. They need to find it, and then with this comp, they can develop little strategies within it and counter other teams with a play style, not by swapping heroes. Again, that common misconception is that you have to swap heroes. No, you actually don't. You just need to change your playstyle. Almost every playstyle and comp is counterable by one comp if you switch up the playstyle. Yeah, there definitely are some comps that really just aren't good against some other ones, but in general, most comps are extremely flexible and you can create strategies around them to counter other teams. So the Dallas Fuel, what they need to do, they need to develop multiple strategies and understandings on how to play their comp against every other comp in the game. We've seen multiple teams in the Overwatch League do it, like the Boston Uprising, the Houston Outlaws. The Houston Outlaws, they literally mastered the Junkrat comp with Jake. Sure, they flexed Linkser on a few DPS here and there, but in general, they were running the same comp and they basically had multiple strategies on that comp to counter other teams. And it worked so good for them. The Boston Uprising, they did the same thing with the dive comp. They literally ran the same exact comp. They had Dreamcast were flexing obviously, but they were basically running the same exact comp, but they would switch around how they played depending on who they were against and what comp they were playing. And both the Houston Outlaws and Boston Uprising performed very well last stage, and coming into the Overwatch League, a lot of people didn't expect them to be as good as they were, especially the Boston Uprising. And you just got to look at it. They really did get that good by forcing one comp, practicing it, and mastering it to the T. Their dive and teamwork in the last meta was really on point. It was very good. Striker on that Tracer, the way he played and worked with Gamsu on Winston was really good. You could see him go off, take a side angle, look for an open, and you know he was calling it to Gamsu, and Gamsu was calling he was ready, and whether he saw it or not, he would take the blind jump. Then we had Note, he was following up. He was a really good defensive diva, always protecting his monkey, protecting his backline, making sure everybody was good and healthy, which tied in really well because Dreamcast and Striker did so much damage, they didn't really need their diva to be a force to be reckoned with. And this all worked really well for the Boston Uprising. And you want to know what's funny? They are a great comparison for the situation that the Dallas Fuel are in right now. Because when the Boston Uprising roster was announced, these guys were looked at as a joke. People thought they were going to be the worst team in the league. We said they had no chance. They were going to suck. How are these players in the Overwatch League? Oh my god, Boston. What a joke. The management, they're out of their mind. They didn't look at this and freak out, panic, think, oh my god, we're so bad. What are we going to do? We're going to tilt and get depressed. No. They looked at it as an opportunity to prove all the people wrong. They started working their asses off day after day, figuring out what they needed to do to become a strong team in the league. And they did exactly that. After stage 1, they were one of the best teams. They got a win off of London Spitfire, the team that won it all. Close competitive games with most of the other teams in the league as well. Nobody expected this, right guys? Oh wait, I did. I made a complete video about this before the preseason on how the Boston Uprising are going to be a good team, compete with some of the best teams in the entire league. How did I know this? Because all the players, they came from good backgrounds, they were all on teams that were decent, but these players were the standout pieces of that team. I knew they were hard workers and that they were going to put in the effort to become the team that they wanted to. And the Dallas Fuel could really learn from these guys, and they need to. They need to do exactly what the Boston Uprising did. So first, block out social media. Second, find your identity. Third, master the identity. And fourth, work your ass off as hard as you can. Prove all the haters wrong. And in my opinion, those are the 4 steps that the Dallas Fuel need to take. And if they do take them, I believe that they will start improving it at a very fast rate. And they'll even have a chance at making some of the stage playoffs and even the season playoffs. And that's basically it, guys. There's just been so much talk and drama going on with the Dallas Fuel. I felt that it was very necessary that I made this video just to keep you guys updated on everything that was happening with the Dallas Fuel, what the players were thinking, all of the backlash that Kai has been receiving lately. I also wanted to throw my spin on it and give you guys my perspective on what I think about the whole situation. I also did my best to stay very objective during the video and play devil's advocate, which I think went very well. So leave a comment down below, guys. Let me know what you think about the whole situation. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? What do you think about all the backlash they've been receiving? Be sure to drop a like on this video, subscribe to my channel. I do Overwatch League videos every single day, whether it's like this, predictions, power rankings, recaps. I mean, I literally do tons of Overwatch League content, guys. So this is definitely the channel for you. Do not forget, guys, join the Discord. We're doing a viewing party tonight. It's going to be an absolute blast. Also, the giveaway, guys, it is going to be massive. I'm telling you, stay tuned. Drop that subscription. I'm out of here, guys. Peace.